And then the transformation is a huge Zagok hand. It's just a recipe for success for a builder like me. Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day, night, noon, afternoon, whenever it is for you right now. Thanks for clicking on the video and hanging out. Today we're taking a look at the last Gundam Seed Master Grade I'll be building for a while. The designs are great, but I think I'm getting kinda burnt out from building them one after the other. But here's the kit for today, the Master Grade Aegis Gundam. Taking a look at the box, we see an illustration of the Aegis Gundam flying over some islands. And we see the rest of the Zaft boys in the background. There's the Buster, the Duel, and the Blitz. We also see the mobile armor mode of the Aegis. How are they next to each other? Of course, we get the two identical sides showing the cropped box art. On this side of the box, we have a section of details about the Aegis Gundam, all in Japanese. It shows a front and rear view of the completed build, including the front and rear view of the mobile armor mode. This side also shows the armaments of the Aegis Gundam. We have the really pointy shield and a cool looking rifle. Some really nice beam sabers built into the limbs as well. They show off the different gimmicks of the model, some markings, and of course a seated pilot figure, as well as a very fabulous standing figure of Athran Zala. On the last side, we have more info of the Aegis Gundam and some info about the remastered anime and manga. Opening the box, we get 6 packs of runners, and just from looking at the runners, I really dig the pink they used on this. For markings, we get a sheet of sticker decals, a smaller sheet of dry transfer decals, and a small sheet of foil stickers for the sensors. The instructions come in a booklet, and it tells you which runners you'll need for the specific sections of the build. It has some Japanese text about the lore of the Aegis Gundam in the first page, as well in the colored centerfold, and at the back it has the front and rear view of the Aegis Gundam with a color guide for mixing paints if you choose to recreate the accurate colors. I did another build stream for this model kit and the assembly was pretty stressful to say the least. I'm sorry that it's taking so long, I just don't understand. Some parts were tight and some other parts, because this is a transforming mobile suit, were pretty confusing to put together. However, we did complete it eventually. Here's the Master Grade Aegis Gundam all built up with no painting, panel lining, or decals. Just some sensor stickers to make those areas pop more with color. I had a sour experience building this on stream, but soon after, I came around to liking the finished model kit. The color and the silhouette definitely can be divisive, but I'm on the side of liking this design. I think it's pretty cool how they incorporated the transformation into the physical design of the Gundam. Jimin from the future here. I forgot to add this to my script, but see those white marks at the back of the head? Those aren't gouged areas from user error. Those are actually a fault of the injection molding process. There wasn't enough plastic for that nub to be filled in. There's like this air gap in those parts of the head pieces. I guess that just comes with the territory of building somewhat older model kits, is that the process isn't perfect anymore. Something to keep in mind. Definitely not the end of the world, because you can just fill it up with some sprue goo. Just keep it in mind. You can see how the shoulder armor mimics the lower legs, and you'll definitely notice more things if you're looking at this in person. And here it is in the mobile armor mode. This is what turns a lot of people off about this Gundam's design, because it looks very alien-like or crabby. Not a lot of people are fans of it, but for me, the first time I saw this in the anime, you could say I was pretty convinced it was a good design. You all know I think the Zeta is the greatest of all time, so I have a sweet spot for transformable mobile suits. And then the transformation is a huge Zagok hand. It's just a recipe for success for a builder like me. I know the head of the Gundam is kinda just sitting there in the back of it, but at least it isn't like the other Gundam Seed mobile suit that quote-unquote transforms. Now, going through everything you get in the box, we get the Gundam, the shield, the rifle, beam saber effects, some pilot figures and swappable fingers, but no action base. I expected way too much from building 3 Gundam Seed Master Grades, which have their own included stands. Why can't all Gunpla just have included action bases, you know? Here it is beside other stuff from my collection. The Real Grade RX-78-2 version 2.0, the Plyobot Gurren Lagann, the Master Grade RX-78-2 version 3.0, the Master Grade Sazabi Verka, some Gundam Gashapons, my fake plant, the newer Gundam Seed Master Grades, the Freedom 2.0, and the Justice Gundam, and my latest, most recent review, the Master Grade Aegis Strike Remastered. I'm not done painting it, so this is all we have of it for now. And here it is beside its own mobile armor mode. I understand how some people wouldn't really care for this design, but for somebody like me who likes the Zeta Gundam and some weird Zeon designs, the design of the Aegis Gundam doesn't just work, it works really well. Before we talk about the articulation, if you found this review of the Master Grade Aegis Gundam enjoyable or helpful so far, please leave a like below. And if you've watched more than one of my videos, please consider subscribing. It would really help a lot. Thanks. Okay, so let's take a look at all the joints of the Master Grade Aegis Gundam. It has a ball joint and it has a hinge at the base of the neck. It can look down all the way this far and look up all the way this far, which I think is pretty impressive. It does expose a lot of the empty inner frame details under the head, but I think it could be pretty useful for posing. Of course, it's a ball joint, so you can pretty much go all the way around. Just be careful not to break anything. And then for the shoulders, we have these pretty much another set of hip joints because it transforms into a four-limbed mobile armor. At that hip joint, it can actually hinge up and down. It can also swivel at the thigh. The actual shoulder joint is pretty much a knee for the transformation, so that can bend down and bend up, and it looks even more like a leg right now. But as a shoulder in the arm mode, it can swivel forward and back as a proper shoulder joint, and we have a hinge in and out for the upper arm, and it swivels on the upper arm as well. We have an armor flap at the top of the upper arm. We get a nice double jointed elbow bend, and the wrist is a ball joint as well as the thumb, like the Master Grade Aegis Strike Remaster. And we have the foot hidden at the back of the forearm here. Also has the swinging blade, and you can use them as the regular beam sabers even in mobile suit mode. The cockpit hatch is pretty cool. It's nice and simple, so it's easy to access and show off the pilot figure. I think it would look really cool if it was painted, which I probably will do eventually. I don't know how easy it is to show you guys, but this does have a slight ab crunch aside from the ball joint connecting to the hips. And we have these hinging flaps at the back, mostly for the transformation, like so. Kind of reminiscent of the Zeta Gundam actually. The waist joint is a ball joint, so it has some wiggle room for side-to-side tilts and a rotation, a pretty good rotation. Now for the front skirts, they're on pretty loose hinges, as you can see. They kind of wobble, but they do only hinge forward and back. They also have this slight swivel in the front. I don't really get to use it much. I don't see it as a way to get things out of the way. The side skirts can swivel front and back. They can also rotate up and down. They also have these flaps to go in and out. They can also extend the thrusters like so, although I don't really find myself using this a lot, but it does expose a little more of the grills there, just a tiny bit, and also some details that you can fill in. And the back skirt is pretty much just a cover piece that can hinge up and down to access the action base adapter point for mobile armor mode. Now moving to the hip joints, we have the same mechanism for shifting the hip joint down and up, although by default it is down for the mobile suit mode. Okay, let me see if I can show you guys. So these are the hip joints all the way down, and that's one of them all the way up. That's mostly for the mobile armor mode. As you can see, I had to shift the side skirts up as well, because that locks the side skirts more in place for the mobile armor mode as well. And you can see the front skirts are down here also for the transformation. I don't think I'll be showing the transformation for this articulation segment, just because it's kind of difficult, mostly because of these obliques or the sides of the waist that have to shift outward, and then you have to rotate them, but most of the time it doesn't shift outward because it's really tight in there. So I don't know, it's really bothersome to fill the transformation, I think. So I'm not gonna do that, I'm sorry. So now moving on to the legs, what you saw at the arm, except for the shifting shoulders, pretty much what you get for the legs. It has the same shifting knee armor, but this time these pieces on the arms are fixed. But as ankle armor, it can hinge up and down for the ankles. We still have the same ankle guards as the elbow feet, but the biggest difference is that the ankles are on ball joints. They're actually on double ball joints, so you get a lot of movement there, but everything else pretty much the same as the shoulders. You also have these hidden mini thrusters for the mobile armor mode, pretty much the same. It's nice though that there's some mechanical details exposed when you bend the knee, but almost forgot, here's the kick all the way forward, so it's pretty far. actually good for some kicking poses since the Aegis does use foot beam sabers that way. So it's nice that you can recreate that. You can also get some really nice side splits if you wanted. And because of how open this hip joint is, you can also kick it all the way back. But the side skirts will kind of block that visually, so you won't really see it. But yeah, overall, the joints are pretty good, I would say. They're very open, non-restricted. You can get some really nice mobile suit poses, although they do get a bit annoying to move around sometimes for the more finicky transformation parts. But yeah, overall, I think it does a pretty good job for doing some dynamic action poses. So here it is in the mobile armor mode. It pretty much has the same joints as the mobile suit mode, and all the moving parts are pretty much identical, but I just want to show how those joints move in this form in particular. So when the arms are in this mode, they're pretty much just the legs, so it also has that shifting knee armor thing, and the side skirts are now locked in place. This back fin thing can still move, but I'm not sure if you're supposed to have it move in this form. And then the claws can still hinge in and out. You still have the shoulders and the hip joints there in the centers, so you can pretty much move the legs to whatever orientation you want. You can still bend them in and out like this. But I think the biggest difference is that the ankles of the actual legs have this ball joint. The wrists or the ankles in the arms don't have that joint, so that's the biggest difference. And then you also have these openable thrusters here for each of the 4 knees. You can see the thruster there. They can all open in this mode, and that's pretty much it. The Master Grade Aegis has some pretty good points of articulation, but it isn't the easiest thing to move around. Sure, it can pull off some cool poses. I mean, it even has an ab crunch joint, but it requires a lot of finessing since you have to be more careful of not breaking anything while you bend it in places. But if you are careful, you can make use of all the joints to get some pretty dynamic positions. I complained a lot on the build stream about how this model is so complicated to put together and to transform, but when I came back to look at it after a while, I actually grew to love it, and I enjoyed all the moving parts you can make use of. I just had to get to know him a little better. Now, I'll be upfront with you guys. I wouldn't recommend this model kit to any kind of beginner in this hobby. Maybe if you've never built Master Grades before, but you've gone through numerous other model kits and you finally want to try the Master Grade line, maybe I would say go for it. But even then, I think you would be better off with any non-transforming Master Grades first. I think that way you would have an overall better first experience with the Master Grade line. Again, looking back, I'm pretty sure the whole design of its construction isn't really all that complex, and I could definitely notice some similarities with the basic Ale Strike Remastered, but somehow it's just not the easiest thing having to figure out how to put certain pieces in the right places. Also, I think it would have made a lot more sense if it came with its own action base straight out of the box, because I think aerial poses is the easiest way to show off how great the joints are. So yeah, overall it's a great looking Gundam to me and maybe even you, but the whole build is just kind of a wild ride. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please leave a like below. If you want to see more model kit builds and reviews like this, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to chat and yap with fellow builders, we have a Discord server where we share our builds and stuff. We got some new builders, some seasoned builders. It's basically a place you can interact with cool people. The Discord link is down in the description. And if you want to support the channel more, thank you. There's a link to my Patreon page down in the description as well. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.